It was a big night for the Giants last night. A big night for the offense with an 11-run explosion. A big night for Madison Bumgarner, who picked up his first win of the season. And a big night for saying goodbye to a good Giant. Today they look to do more big things and take the rubber match of the series, Giants-Pirates. And it's coming up next. We've got weekday baseball here at AT Park as the Pirates and Giants will wrap up this 3-game series. Welcome to NBC Sports Bay Area, powered by Xfinity. Hi again, everybody. I'm Dwayne Kuiper. Alongside me is Mike Krukow. Hey, the Giants have a chance to win a series against these Pirates. They also have a chance, if they win today, to have a 500 homestand. So there's some things to look at. But I think the Giants would like to see a really solid start out of Jeff Samardzija, the Shark.
Well, Samardzija is a guy who has at times pitched in tough luck throughout the season. His last start, however, he missed some location pitches. He gave guys some pitches to hit. And I think the key for him today is to get back on those corners, be a little more selective with the corner movement that you want to throw. And I think that'll be the key. It also helps is if they can get him another 10 runs before the 4th inning. That is a very powerful thing.
That'll help. By the way, this is a day game after a night game, but the varsity is in there. The only exception is Connor Gillespie is at third. All right, stay tuned. We'll take you to our NBC Sports Bay Area studios for an update, and we'll do that right after this.
area is brought to you by Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. By State Farm. Combine auto and renters and see how much you can save. Talk to an agent today. By Jack in the Box. Come try the new sweet or spicy barbecue bacon cheeseburger and chicken sandwich. Limited time only. And by the 2017 Jeep Cherokee with an EPA estimated 30 highway miles per gallon.
Little day game action in San Francisco as your Giants are getting set for a rubber match this afternoon. A victory, you know what that means, a happy flight on this Wednesday getaway day. Welcome back to our broadcast, everybody. I'm Amy Gutierrez. That trade deadline is quickly approaching, but your San Francisco Giants, they got a taste of it last night, 5th inning, when Eduardo Nunez was traded in the middle of the game. We're going to take a look back on Nunez's night. It's our Smart Play brought to you by your California Ford dealers. Bottom of the 30s, hit by a pitch. That was not a good sign, but this is. He bounced back. RBI double off the right field wall in the bottom of the 4th. And then he ends up advancing to 3rd on the throw, showing off that speed. Bottom of the 5th, hugs, hugs, hugs. It was a hug fest. Bochy and every single player getting a hug from Eduardo Nunez. He definitely had an impact. Now here's what he's looking at, what he meant to the Giants. He wasn't a Giant very long. Just under a year. He was acquired from the Minnesota Twins July 28th, 2016. He now heads to the Boston Red Sox. In exchange, the Giants getting 2 minor league pitchers, Sean Anderson and Gregory Santos. His numbers, Nunez's numbers, 126 games, a .293 batting average, 8 home runs, 51 RBI, 31 stolen bases. An impact player for sure. He certainly was a good Giant. All right, the Shark on the hill for your Giants today. Crook and Kite, lineups, and first pitch. Stay with us, everybody.
And our game time weather is presented by the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. It is a perfect time to get to the beach. The admission-free boardwalk is open daily. 69 beautiful degrees here at the yard. You see the winds, you see the humidity, which is fairly high. And it is sunny, is Jeff Samardzija. leads the Giants out of the dugout. And the lineup that Samardzija is going to be facing, and it's brought to you by Southwest Airlines. It'll be Marte Harrison and then Andrew McCutchen, and he's hot right now. Plus he's got some ownage on Jeff Samardzija. Then it will be Bell, Jaso, and Francisco Cervelli, Frazier, Mercer, and hitting ninth will be Trevor Williams.
On the hill today for the Giants will be the big right-hander, Jeff Samardzija, making start number 21. Samardzija on the year, 4-11 with a 5.05 ERA. But look at the strikeouts, 138 against 15 walks. Gives you the idea what kind of stuff he has and what type of command that he has. When he's right, you're going to see a fastball that goes 93 to 97 miles per hour with lots of movement. He can sink it, he can cut it. He's got a curveball, changeup, and a slider. And he can give you really in any count. It's one of his strengths. Lifetime against these Pirates, he's done well, 5-4 with an ERA of 2.91. And what do you say we take a look at the Giants defense playing behind Samardzija today, starting the Giants outfield from left to right. It'll be Hernandez, Span, and Pence. That's your outfield. Crawford and Gillespie will be on the left side of the infield. Panic and Belt on the right side. Buster Posey, he'll be in the squad, putting down the signs. Right now, it's time for our Nissan keys to the game. Jeff Samardzija, corner location. Last outing, he caught a little bit too much of the middle part of the strike zone. He needs to start working those corners a little more consistently. That'll be a key. And then the offense. They had 11 runs last night, 10 before the fourth inning. We think that's pretty cool, and we say, keep it rolling. Those are our Nissan keys to the game.
Keep it rolling. I think we'd all be fine with that. Is Marte ready to stand in? Giants are 4-5 on this homestand, so they could even things up with a win. And the first pitch of the ball game is on its way, and it is foul back. So we get started right on time. Marte has 2 hits in the series. He's 2 for 9. And he drives this one to straightaway center field for Span. And that's how this ball game gets started. Well, calling balls and strikes will be Ron Kolpa. Chris Conroy is at first. Shane Livingsparger is at second, and Jerry Meals is at third. One of the umpires yesterday that got dinged.
Ed Hickox.
Yeah, and he's not here. Remember, Buster Posey hit him with a line drive.
Yeah, I think he really may have tweaked his knee when he came falling down. So we're a bit concerned about Ed. Hope he's doing better.
Harrison on one pitch hits a high fly ball to Pence, and Pence now settles underneath it, and that's out number 2.
This was the play we're talking about. Runners at second and third. Posey hits a bullet right back up the middle, and Ed Hickox cannot get out of the way. On his way down the ground, he really torqued his left knee, and he looked uncomfortable really the rest of the night. And today, 2 sore to go. He got up and continued. The game heart that he is, but Ed, if you're watching, we hope you're feeling better. Plate umpire today, Ron Kolpa, is a great getaway day umpire. Big zone, awesome pitchers umpire.
Well, they're telling us now that Hickox ended up with a couple of broken toes. There's a called strike. Buster Posey, exit velocity must have been about 120.
Man, I don't like hearing that.
McCutchen takes back-to-back strikes. He's at 289. He's got 15 lifetime hits against Samardzija in 37 at-bats, including 5 doubles. Belt will go to the bag, and a nice inning for Samardzija. 6 pitches to open up the ball game. Top of the order coming up. And it's brought to you by Southwest Airlines. It's the varsity minus Nunez, Span, Panic, and Belt. Buster Posey, he's going to hit in the cleanup spot, and he's done well, knocking in runs against the Pirates. Crawford, Penson, Gillespie, Hernandez 8th, Samardzija 9th.
On the hill today for the Pittsburgh Pirates will be the big right-hander Trevor Williams. Williams, a rookie, former second-round pick in 2013 by the Miami Marlins. 6'3", 230-pounder. That's what he has done in 2017. 4-4 with a 4.74 ERA. You're going to see a fastball that's low 90s that he can sink and cut. He's got a curveball, slider, and a changeup. The basic 4 pitches you see from a starting pitcher. Doesn't have a record against the Giants. In one career start when the Giants saw the Pirates in Pittsburgh, he went 6 innings and pitched well. Had a no decision.
So here's Span. Yeah, all these Giants have at least 1, 2, or 3 at bats lifetime against Trevor Williams. Gillespie and Hernandez are the only ones in the lineup that do not have any history. So Span takes a pitch wide, hitting .285, 7 home runs, 23 driven in. Span had 2 hits last night. He's 2 for 6 in the series. Span had an interesting game on Monday. He went 0 for 2, but he walked 3 times and hit 2 line drives.
Let's take a look at the play. Oh, we got talent in the stands today. Sweet spot. Nice going. That a babe.
Span rolls one to Mercer. And Span's retired.
Let's take a look at the Pirates defensively today. Starting in their outfield from left to right, it'll be Marte, McCutchen, and Jaso. Marte with a cannon in left field. Mercer and Harrison on the left side of the infield. Frazier and Bell on the right side. Francisco Cervelli. He'll be in the squad, putting down the signs.
So here's Joe Panic. Joe Panic hitting .265, 6 home runs, 33 driven in. 1 for 4 on Monday. Joe came back yesterday, went 1 for 4, but he picked up 3 RBIs, all on one swing of the bat as he tripled with the bases loaded. And the strike on the inside corner. Off the line at third is Harrison. Outfield straight away. And the 1-1 delivery. 1 and 2. Our chief drive of the game last night. We talked about Joe Panic's 3-run triple. This is what it looked like. It made the score 6-0.
Absolutely split the defenders right in the middle and lit this crowd up.
So it's 2 balls, 2 strikes. Pirates are trying to end their road trip. It's a 6-game trip on a winning note. They're 2 and 3 on their trip. As Panic lifts it out of play.
All right, more opportunity.
He had it.
A bare-hander. Doesn't need a glove. Some guys don't.
Another out of Joe Panic's making some folks happy in the seats.
Oh yeah, fire up that section. High fives. Complete strangers. Now your new best friends.
Outside.
Not by much. Good pitch.
Mention the Pirates. They'll go home after the game. They'll have a day off tomorrow, and then they'll host the San Diego Padres. Drive into left center field, hit very well. It is off the bottom of the wall, and Joe Panic will hustle into second base. And that's a one-out double.
All right, let's take a look at opposite field hitting. They go on the outside corner, and Panic says, not a problem, I'll go right with it. 2 nights in a row where he's taken that outside pitch and he's really barreled it. Last night to right center. Here he goes the opposite way. And for a second there, I thought he had a chance to get this thing out of here.
So here's Belt. By the way, the information I gave you is wrong. The Pirates will travel to San Diego for that weekend series. Here's the pitch to Belt, and Belt takes a strike on the outside corner. And tomorrow is the off day for them. Although we might decide to stay here.
Well, I think I will.
Well, if you were with the Pirates.
Oh, well.
I mean, 2 great cities to choose from, right? Where do I want to spend my off day?
San Francisco, San Diego. Giants tonight will get on a plane and head down to Los Angeles, where they will spend the off day in LA. And then Friday start a 3-game series. It's a great road trip if you don't like a lot of travel. 2 cities, LA and Oakland.
Well, anytime on the road you can drive to the game, it's good.
Yeah.
It's good.
Sleep in your own bed. That's good.
It's good.
And get meal money.
And probably not. 2 balls and 1 strike. And Belt takes wide. It's 3-1. Belt at 237. He went 1 for 4 on Monday. Had a couple of hits last night. And the walk, bringing Posey to the plate. Buster last night, he had a great game. Went 3 for 4, had a chance for a couple of RBIs. That's when the ball he hit the umpire. If it hadn't, it would have knocked in 2 runs.
See, if I'm a hitter, I never forget those 2 runs I don't get. If I retire, I'm still thinking about it.
First pitch is down low, 1 ball and no strikes.
And it's not Ed Hickok's fault. The ball just got on him so quick. He had nowhere to go with it. But from Buster's perspective, that's 2 RBIs you don't get.
Well, I am blaming Hickox if I'm Buster. And this squirts away, and both runners advance.
It's a big play. We talked about Williams has the ability to get the ground ball with sink. So now he loses the force. Doubtful it'll change the way that the Pirates defend against Buster Posey. Let's take a look at the breaking ball in the dirt.
Ooh.
And Cervelli does everything right.
Ooh.
And it still kicks away. And that's pretty good technique right there. And yet you get penalized.
So infield will play back. Panic at third. Belt at second. And it's 3-0. Buster will have the green light. I don't remember him taking advantage of it very often. At the knees.
A lot of carry in this ballpark today. It's playing short, not a lot of wind. There is An opportunity for right-handed hitters to right field. We've been saying that a lot this homestand.
And the walk.
Didn't look like he wanted any part of it. The infield is faster than normal. The outfield is faster than normal. And Ray Sears, the Pirates pitching coach, going to come out and talk to his young right-hander. Trevor Williams out of Arizona State.
So the conversation is about trying to get a ground ball at somebody.
Yeah, that's exactly what he's talking about. Give you a little 3-pitch plan. Pitching coaches will go out there and they'll read a pitcher's face, especially a young pitcher. See what they can see. And then they'll react accordingly. Do they give the pat in the back or do they give a kick in the butt?
Crawford takes low.
Now the message, I'm sure, from Searage is pound the knees with sink and slider and hope you get that ground ball. And if you're Crawford, you're looking for a mistake up.
And a strike. It's a ball and a strike. Panic, Belt, Posey. A double. A walk, a wild pitch, and another walk. Two balls and a strike. So Crawford in the driver's seat when it comes to looking for an A pitch in a spot right here. On the ground, slowly hit. They'll get one, and they got him at second base. Staying on the bag was Frazier. Coming in to score is Panic. It's 1-0.
Take a look at the feed from Mercer to Frazier. It kind of gets right in that area around the belt where if you're a middle infielder or anybody, do you catch it palm up or palm down? Kind of got glove tied, but they do get the force. That was our Toyota Exmo, brought to you by your local Toyota dealer.
So here's Hunter Pence. Pence 2 for 5 last night. And he takes outside for a ball, 1-0. This is a new one.
Oh, that's brand new.
That's how they came up with the whole concept of a bobblehead. Pence taps it to short. And that'll end the inning. Giants on the board after 1-0 San Francisco. in 1998 at Candlestick. Jeff Kent led off the bottom of the 10th with a walk-off home run off of Stan Belinda, and the Giants won 2-1. Red starter Brett Tomko had pitched 9 innings, only allowing 1 run on 2 hits. It was Jeff Kent's 5th career walk-off home run. Trust me, folks, he was happy.
That was him being happy.
Here's Josh Bell.
His teammates used to tease him, said he had the personality of a ticked-off CHP officer.
He had 5 career walk-offs. That was 1. Number 1.
He could hit.
Bell hitting .252. Takes a rip.
They might go right back upstairs again. They know that Bell's aggressive. He likes to swing it. And he's had a good road trip. So they throw a changeup on the outside corner at the knees. Totally got him off his back leg. If you're a pitcher, you want that ball put in play because it isn't going anywhere. Samardzija fan got the ball. So right now Samardzija dragging Bell through the garden. Yes. And he's throwing everything at him.
Yes, he is.
Fastballs, cutters, a sink, elevating, curveballs, changeups. How about a front door sinker?
2-2.
96.
Full count.
So he tries to go back in there again. He wants that movement to come back into the strike zone. Kind of a front door sinker. Just leaving it too far inside.
Healthy rip and a foul. Maybe off of Buster Posey. It remains at 3-2.
It's a good battle right now. Posey thinking about it, taking time, giving that sign.
Got him. Check in with Amy G.
All right, guys, we have a corresponding roster move to the Nunez trade. The Giants called up Carlos Moncrief. Bruce Bochy saying he's an outfielder that can play left and center field, and it also gives him a left-handed bat off the bench. Also, quickly, Melanson threw 30 pitches today. He's going to throw a pen or face live hitters in LA and then start a rehab assignment. Johnny Cueto threw 45 pitches today, all of his pitches, and said he feels real good. They're trying to avoid a rehab for him. He's going to throw a pen Friday in LA and possibly be back in the rotation on Monday. Gentlemen.
Monday. All right.
So
she's got all kinds of info.
She does. It's good news.
It's great that one of 3 of us got a good night's sleep.
There's Carlos Moncrief. This is his first day ever in the big leagues.
Strike to Jaso. 2 balls and 1 strike.
Good changeup right there. So AT pitches into it. Samardzija's established everything in the eyes of these Pirates.
Out of play. 2-2. Come on. Give me the ball. Give me the ball. Let's go. Hit my hand. That means I get it.
I don't want to.
Nope. You have to catch it.
That's a negotiation right there.
Tap foul. It hit my hand, so I get it. No. Oh, this is what it looks like. Is this what you want? Looks like it's got my name on it, not yours.
We need to get that lady.
Meanwhile, Gramps on the left is like, I am out of this one.
That's right.
I haven't won a fight in 50 years. 2-2.
We need to get her a ball, man. Her heart is broken.
That's a bit outside. 3-2. Now she's saying, look, it hit my hand, so that means I get the ball. Her husband's going, stay out of it.
Please get that ball for me.
Stay out of it. I need a rag. Stay out of it.
She's not happy.
There's a walk.
A rare walk from Samardzija. Here's the effort she had. It hit her right on the hand, and then she lost it.
Well, I mean, the deal is you do have to catch it.
Yeah.
And this guy's ordering you, going, hey, can you order me a ball? I want to give it to her.
That's right.
Yeah, we need to get her a ball. What do you think?
Yeah, she definitely needs a ball.
I'm not going in the stands, so don't ask.
No, we can send it down, though.
And the pitch is inside. One ball and no strikes.
I'm thinking we need to get on this pretty quick.
Where is it? Is it on the level below us?
I think it's in the club level.
How far down? I can't tell.
Not too far.
I mean, is it far enough where we could do it in between innings?
Oh yeah, easy.
No, I can't do it. This look like it'll be sponsored next year.
That's right. The Kite Fan of the Day. Yeah.
I could probably do it.
You can.
And a call strike. And it's 1-2.
Big curveball. And Cervelli kind of was not expecting that speed. Locked him up.
Just a little bit outside. 2-2.
By much. I mean, that's 2 times that Samardzija in the last 2 hitters has gone on the outside corner, thought he had a strike 3, and both times he didn't get it. Let's take a look at it. Close.
Back to 3-2 again. So chewing up some pitches here in the second.
Yeah, that's either she's ordering food or she's writing a formal protest.
You have to catch the ball. Runner goes. Crawford off his glove, and it kicks into shallow left field. So yeah, that's kind of what has happened to Samardzija this year.
Yeah, I mean that's a double play ball, but because Jaso goes on the 3-2 pitch, it is Crawford who had the assignment to cover second. So he breaks towards second, tries to come back. The ball comes up high on him, and he can't recover. So it's going to be a base hit in a first and third 1-out situation for Samardzija. Where in other years you're walking off the field.
Frazier takes outside for a ball. 1-0. That's true.
So you got a 1-run lead. It's the second inning. You're pitching for the ground ball here.
Instead, there's a rocket down the right field line. It's going to score 1. Cervelli will stop at third.
So Frazier, the product out of Mississippi State, has really swung the bat well in this series. Very compact. Take a look at the get it in breaking ball to try and get a strike, and Frazier says, "No, I'm not going to take that one." Jumps on it. That's a good swing. See why the Pirates like this guy.
So Mercer is going to be walked. So send up a balloon. And the hitter will be Trevor Williams. Outside, 1 ball and no strikes. Buster Posey thought he had a strike.
So did Jeff Samardzija. Saying, darn, what the heck? What do I got to do to get a strike? Some umpire's supposed to have a reputation for big corners. Not getting them, not seeing it.
Tap foul.
Take a look at that first pitch from Samardzija that he thought was a strike. Buster thought it was a strike. Ron Copeland did not think it was a strike. He's the guy you have to impress. That time he gets it. Exact same pitch. Yeah, it's out there on the corner. It's kind of the 50-50 zone. Some you get, some you don't get. Can't really blame an umpire for inconsistency on that type of a location.
So it's 2-2. Samardzija trying to limit the damage. And this is going to be a terrific play by Jeff Samardzija.
You know, you get little examples of the athleticism that Samardzija has every once in a while. It'll be a play like this, where this is just something that is a total ad-lib, and he realized he had to go to the bare hand, and from an off-balance position just throws a perfect strike to Posey. Watch it into the hand, find a grip, and in an off-balance strike. That is a great play.
I mean, kind of had at least an RBI on an out written all over it.
Yeah.
Marte, who swung at the first pitch his first time up, does it here, and he fouls it back.
It's just, it's such a hard play. I mean, even the way that he got his arm cocked, you know, he cut the ball in a high position, just a small loop, and then from that angle, moving away, throws a pearl right to Posey. I love it.
One ball and one strike. Braves and D-backs are playing a day game in Arizona. Game is just underway. And a little pop-up, and Belt will put it away, and that's going to end the inning. So Samardzija does indeed limit the damage. It's a tie ball game. like to have you relive some of the greatest moments in Barry Bonds' career with Bonds Stands Alone, a special feature you can see during every Giants pre- and post-game shows right here on NBC Sports Bay Area. It is indeed a celebration of Barry Bonds as we approach the 10-year anniversary of 756 on August 7th. Today they're going to look at the 3 home runs that Barry Bonds hit in Colorado.
Yeah, that was September 9th. 2001, the year he hit 73, and that was the day we started thinking he had a chance to really do this. And indeed he did.
Here's Connor Gillespie.
Kennesaw Mountain Landis. Is that a great name or what?
It is. Gillespie takes a strike. Gillespie hitting 174. He's got a home run. He's got 7 runs batted in. The home run came on this homestand. Rolls over on this one to Frazier.
Well, Giants fans, StubHub is your ticket out to once-in-a-lifetime experiences, from Giants games to amazing concerts to shows you just don't want to miss. StubHub, your ticket out. StubHub's the official fan-to-fan ticket marketplace of the San Francisco Giants.
Here's Gorkys Hernandez. 244 for Gorkys with 15 runs batted in. So this little guy's got his eye as his bunted out in front of home plate. Williams gets off the mound. He'll take his time, and Hernandez beat it out. Maybe he should have taken his time.
Pirates are going to look at it, but I think he got it. Kind of a bunt that was right back to the pitcher. Ideally, you want to be a little more towards the foul line. So, Pirates wave off the challenge. One more look. Too close to call.
Here's Samardzija.
Remember, the Pirates had a challenge that they lost in last night's ball game in the 3rd inning.
And we both agreed, though, that it was not a bad challenge. Samardzija bunts it foul to the backstop.
Yeah, Mom's fixing the hot dog up. She's missed the last 7 pitches, and now it's just perfect the way he likes it. A little ketchup on it. Thanks, Mom. That's really good. Thank you very much.
I'll bet Mom likes it that way, too.
Yeah.
And a hit and run as Samardzija pulls the bat back. Xfinity X1 customers say, "Show me the San Francisco Giants." And they say that into your X1 voice remote and get live stats on your TV. Change the way you experience TV with Xfinity X1. Runner goes, and Hernandez stumbled, and a double clutch, and he steals it. So, not sure anything at any point on both ends was that smooth.
Well, when you make a break and you start to stumble, you're thinking, I have no chance. But watch Cervelli comes up, and he just can't get a grip. The double clutch with Hernandez and his wheel spinning doesn't cost him.
Samardzija happy now. He can swing the bat, and he does, and he swings and misses. And that's the first strikeout for Trevor Williams. And here's Denard Span.
That's a great age because a hot dog will last you about 3 innings. Now they last you about 3 pitches.
Span bounced out. He's 0 for 1. On the ground. And Frazier at the cut of the grass, and they'll end the inning. No runs, a hit, 1 left. Through 2, it's 1-1.
NBC Sports Bay Area is brought to you by Toyota, the full-line automaker with the longest-lasting vehicles in America. Toyota, let's go places.
Well, Giants fans, there's great news. You can stream the Giants on the go. This season, you can stream every NBC Sports Bay Area Giants broadcast on your desktop or mobile device. Giants games streamed on the go on the NBC Sports app.
Josh Harrison will hit first, then McCutchen, then Bell. Breaking ball for a strike. First pitch up the middle and a base hit. So actually that was on the second pitch, and Harrison is aboard.
Well, when Harrison gets on board, he's definitely a stolen base threat. Nice inside out approach, back up the middle. He's used this a lot, just over the glove of Samardzija. He's used the middle of the field well in this series. Hey, the gang's all here.
Yes, they are. So McCutchen steps up. He rolled out to first in the first. And there's a breaking ball for a called strike. The breaking ball down low.
Great view from behind home plate where you can see the release. the action that the ball has as it's coming up to McCutchen.
Forget about that. How about the umpire being a distraction to the second baseman?
Kind of hung up on that. See, I don't even notice that till you pointed out. That's the first thing you, an old second baseman, notices.
And that's tap foul. Look, why not go to the other side where nobody's at?
You know, we asked Ed Montague about this, and he said that when he got into the big leagues, like 35 years ago, I mean, the umpires were out in the middle of, or out behind the infield, they're out in the outfield. Then they changed it.
Well, I think they liked it better that way. You can get hit by a line drive if you're.
You could break a couple toes, as we saw it happen last night to Ed Hickox.
McCutchen bounces another one foul off his foot. Right where that ball ends up is where the umpire should be standing.
Well, in front of the shortstop.
Well, no, Crawford's way over to the left.
Yeah.
Problem is, you know, it really is a problem. Is it just makes too much sense.
Oh, it's a huge distraction.
It is. Out of play. That's the young umpire, the rook.
The guy who's
Shane
Livensparger.
Livensparger.
Got here at 11:15 from Pennsylvania. I mean, this could be his first day in the big leagues.
Could be Hickox's uniform too. Outside and low, 2-2.
Barry Bonds' Arizona State jersey, where he wore number 24.
They're taking a lap, Mike.
They're taking a lap.
Got him.
93, a second strikeout for Samardzija. They set an outside target. This goes right down the throat. So that's what McCutchen's going to think about. That ball was by him.
Here's Bell. Bell struck out in the second. And he takes a pitch high. 1 ball and no strikes.
Pirates bringing Bell to the big leagues. You can see why. I mean, it's all about offense.
Harrison goes. Posey's throw. Not in time. The only way they were going to get him was if the throw was absolutely perfect. It was perfect. But it may be that Harrison Hand snuck in there at the very end.
Yep, just by about a hair. I mean, from Buster Posey's standpoint, I mean, I don't know if you could throw a more accurate throw.
I don't think you can.
That's right there.
Swing and a miss. And now you got to be careful that Harrison doesn't get any ideas about stealing third.
To make sure he stops. So Shane Livensparger gets his first call. Gets it right. Second base umpire. Two and two.
That.
With a changeup that had a little tail that ran away from the left-handed hitting Bell. And you talk about a guy that just tries to pull an emergency swing right at the last minute. He was badly fooled on this pitch. Just a split finger that is his changeup. And that is not a swing you're going to want to see again.
That's not the swing I want on my baseball card from that angle.
No.
There's Jaso. Strike.
Same pitch that he threw to strikeout Bell. That split. The split when he first had it last year, choking it too far between his fingers. He's got it out more towards the fingertips, and that really has become a very good pitch for him because he can command it. He can throw it in 3-2 counts.
One ball, one strike. Jaso drew a walk and scored in the second. And he takes the high fastball. 2 balls and 1 strike. Samardzija looks to second, and there's a strike on a breaking ball. 2-2. Samardzija trying to pitch his way through a leadoff single. And he will as he strikes out the side. For the Giants, Panic Belt. Posey coming up.
Earlier today, the Giants recognized a very special group of U.S. Marines. It was 50 years ago today, 1967. The Giants partnered with the Marines and created the San Francisco Giants Platoon. 72 volunteers entered Marine boot camp, and on July 26, 1967, they were brought to Candlestick Park to be sworn in. 6 months later, they went to Vietnam. They are Platoon 1034 or the Giants Platoon, and 26 of the original 72 are here today. We thank you and are forever grateful for your service. Dwayne and Mike.
Yeah, that's a good story. That's our age group.
And we certainly salute them all.
Absolutely.
They look good.
We're very much involved in the Vietnam War, and I'm sure you did too. Kids that I went to high school and college with, off they went, and some never came back. Panic takes a strike. He doubled and scored in the first. hit on the ground, and Frazier is going to kick it around and then recover in time. Dave is here. You see Darren Shannon in the background. Dave Fleming. John Miller's on assignment. We'll see John Friday in Los Angeles. Here's Belt. Belt drew a walk in the first. And he hits one high and foul down the left field line and out of play. How happy is this guy? Is that a tortilla chip?
Yep. He's happy.
He looks like he could be happy if that was a leaf.
He's a low maintenance guy.
He is a low maintenance guy.
Yeah.
Well, he got his beverage.
Yep, got to get a little sip of that.
Salsa, maybe some
cheese, Mom.
Oh, absolutely.
Got my cheese whiz, Mom.
I'll sit with him. Belt takes outside. Make sure you wear the hat that size so that it folds over one ear as Belt takes low and in. Someone else gets chip duty.
Yep, I'm just going to get the right perfect one. Take my time. It's right. Yeah.
Oh, looked like he was playing Old Maid. Remember I used to go.
Hey, he likes the cheese. That'll never stop, by the way.
Can you finish this one? 3-2 pitch to Belt. Belt stays alive. I want to party with that kid. 3-2.
Yep. He's a first-round draft pick.
Belt takes strike 3 call. So here's Posey.
So too close to take, perhaps.
Tell me Belt doesn't know the strike zone.
He knows the strike zone as good as anybody in the league.
Buster Posey drew a walk in the first. Pirates with 3 hits, the Giants with 2. And a strike. Swing and a miss. 1-2.
Good sinker. Williams got a nice rhythm right now. Gets through trouble in the first. A much different pitcher now than he was in that first inning. You can always tell when a guy starts to lock in. For the most part, his misses will be down below the strike zone. That's kind of where Williams is. And for a guy who's got sink, that's where you want to be.
And the 2-2 to Buster Posey. Buster rolls it foul. Pass Brandon Crawford. And a healthy rip, and it stays at 2-2.
Yeah, he was on it.
And Posey just calmly strokes one into center field for a base hit. And that'll bring Crawford to the plate.
You know, that's an example of a guy that's got great control of his bat head. And we see him get hits where, you know, he'll lose his lower body, but the hands stay back and he can still barrel a ball. And those are the guys that hit 300 that can do that.
And he indeed is. Crawford reached on a fielder's choice, knocked in a run with a ground ball. And here he takes wide.
Hit 300 is not an easy thing to do.
Crawford fouls this one just to our left.
Friends for life, I think. Let's go with that.
Good pitch at the knees, and it's 1-2. So that'll force Crawford to have to try to protect. How's our little guy doing? Yep. Doing fine.
I'm doing good.
Check
out my own pace.
Yeah. Giants.
Cute little guy.
1-2. Get on the ground slowly to Bell, and that's going to end the inning. So Dave Fleming will be in. I'll see you back here in the 7th. It's a 1-1 ball game.
Allows me the opportunity to welcome my friend Dave Fleming into the booth. Welcome,
my friend. Good to be with you. What a day. Spectacular. Not quite as many of those kayaks out on San Francisco Bay on a Wednesday, but I bet as the game goes on, we'll have a few more visitors out there.
It has a tendency to fill up on a good hot day like today.
It does.
This is an offensive day here where you see carry to right field, which you don't see many of those days.
Okay, there's one. That's a little more than just your normal kayak.
Well, I think she's got it going right there. The dog is the kicker.
That dog is thinking this is pretty cool out here. Well, you're right. It's a good point you make about the way that this ballpark plays on a day like today. 69 degrees at game time. I'm sure it's a couple degrees warmer even now.
It really is a day built for offense. I mean, I'm a little surprised at the score being 1-1. This is a day where you get carry and you see home runs.
And each of these teams has had at least one very good chance so far. Cervelli, that was no swing on appeal. It's 1-1. Pirates got their run in the second and had the bases loaded. Giants had the bases loaded in the very first inning and got just the one out of it. That was pretty impressive pitching by Samardzija in the third. That leadoff hit by Harrison, and then the steal where he got a big jump. He struck out McCutchen, Bell, and Jaso all in a row.
That's not an easy thing to do. He went right through the heart of this lineup.
And the Pirates have been a hot team, and not just their offense has been hot.
Just a wee bit high.
It's been a strange strike zone at times so far, I think.
Well, Copa has a reputation for having a big strike zone. It has been big, but it has not been consistent, which is very important to everybody, hitters, pitchers. I mean, even the other night when we had Chris Conroy's strike zone that was very small and it was frustrating, it was consistent. It was what it was in the first. It was the same in the ninth. Not many guys are happy with it, but it was consistent. Today's it's been an adventure.
That one right there. Strike three called. I say it's right there. Francisco Cervelli didn't think so.
4 strikeouts in a row. I mean, it's not going to make any hitter happy. But look where Posey sets his glove, and he hardly has to move the glove. That's right there, and that's a great sell job. And Ron Copa says, yeah, I like that one. Grab some pine, meat.
And I mean, for Francisco Cervelli, he's one of the guys, along with Buster, along with Grandal in LA. There are a couple others in this so-called StatCast era where we track and monitor and record everything that happens on the field. And Cervelli himself has been always graded as one of the best pitch framing catchers.
He's also not afraid to give his opinion.
He is opinionated, and he is not shy.
I mean, he shows it with body language, and it's
that one caught by Pence. Frazier hit it hard, 2 down. Last night the pitch, I mean, Francisco Cervelli, I mean, he's the catcher. And you know, Jerry Meals had kind of a funky strike zone himself, I thought, last night. But the pitch that Cervelli really kind of got upset about and was very animated, it was close. I mean, it was very close. It wasn't like it was a foot outside.
It was a first strike.
Yeah.
It wasn't like it was a second or a third strike. I mean, believe me, the first one is a little easier to digest if it's not one you agree with. But he had big-time body language to Jerry Meals.
I noticed the exact same thing. It was unusual.
I mean, usually if you're going to, especially on a first pitch strike, you know, you're not going to show an umpire up with body language because everybody in the stands knows you're unhappy. I mean, you could do it with words. You basically stare out at the pitcher and you can say whatever you want to an umpire without cussing him. But as soon as you start to get your body language involved where the whole stadium knows it and sees it, that's a different deal.
0-2 to Jordy Mercer. Ball 1. And that's what he angled his body back. He turned around. He started kind of pointing with his arm. He was looking at it. It was weird. He's also the catcher. You're trying to get some calls for your own pitchers when you're back on defense. 1-2. Mercer got a piece. Anyway. He's an opinionated guy. That's Cervelli.
Well, I mean, nobody knows umpires better than catchers as to what they can and can't get away with, I suppose.
He's a good player.
Yeah, they're definitely a different team when he's in the line. Now, this is the pitcher talking about last night that he didn't think. This is a first strike. Okay. Now, strike 1, and he turns around and goes, oh, What? Now that's big-time body language. Now everybody in the stands knows you're not in agreement. Umpires don't like that.
And it went on even a little longer than that. That's pretty dramatic. 1-2. Mercer kind of flips one to right. Here comes Pence to make the catch. Well, Samardzija has retired 6 in a row, 4 of them by strikeout. It's 1-1 here at AT&T.
Sports Bay Area is brought to you by Kelly Moore Paints. Go where the pros go. Kelly Moore, the painter's paint store.
Well, Sunday, August 6th, the annual Hello Kitty Day at the ballpark. And if you're out there thinking, huh? What? Very popular. First 20,000 fans get that Hello Kitty t-shirt. Tickets always available at sfgiants.com. That is 1 week from this Sunday, Giants Diamondbacks. That is a big deal, Hello Kitty Day.
Well, yeah, it is. My granddaughter thinks that's pretty cool.
And it's not just 4-year-olds either. How old's your granddaughter now?
4.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Hunter Pence, not quite as closely associated with Hello Kitty Day as he was with the Game of Thrones night. Did you get your bobblehead?
I did.
Yeah, pretty cool.
That was a good one.
That one's in demand. I'm getting all kinds of texts, but hey, if you come up with an extra Pence Game of Thrones bobblehead, how about thinking of me?
Yeah, if you're just walking the halls and you see one on the floor just laying there, keep me in mind.
2-1 against Trevor Williams. 2-2. How pumped do you think Trevor Williams is? He's a kid from San Diego, went to Rancho Bernardo High School, grew up there, still lives there in the offseason. Pirates are going there for a weekend series tomorrow. They have tomorrow off, so he's going home with an off day, and he won't pitch.
Well, I think he's a little disappointed he's not pitching. But
yeah.
To have an off day at home, big time.
Pence hustling, made it a close play, but it's out number 1. You always like to pitch in front of your friends and family.
Yeah, and he's a rook. You know, he wants to get back and pitch there. But given from what we've seen today, I mean, he's going to be around this league for a while. He's going to have plenty of time to pitch in San Diego someday.
He's good. Arizona State guy.
2nd-round pick. And he looks like it.
The Marlins, I mean, now I don't know what the return was. A player I don't know that much about. It's kind of a prospect for prospect type trade, but Marlins gave up on him rather quickly considering he was a high round pick. And the Pirates, I think the Pirates like what they have. Gillespie 0 for 1, playing third base today in Nunez's spot. 2 down.
You know, there's so much that goes into the evaluation of a player. It's not just what he does on the field. You know, it's his ability to adapt in that clubhouse. You know, I mean, how you can forecast his durability, given his set of mechanics, how kind of a worker he is. I mean, there's a lot of different. But when a team gives up on a guy who's a second or first round pick, you do wonder, well, what was the motivation that this guy? And I don't want to shed a negative on this guy because he's been impressive today, and from all that we know, he's a good teammate. But it does make you think when a guy who is a first or a high pick gets moved early in his career.
Gorkis, a one-hopper that kicks right past Frazier into center field. That's going to be another hit for Gorkis Hernandez.
Well, those top spin liners, when they one-hop a middle infield or any infield, I mean, it's just a do or die. You give one chance. You kind of swipe at it and hope you find gold. You start to bail here. Just hits him low on the little finger of the glove. The importance of this is it allows Samardzija a chance to hit this inning. Giants don't have to lead off with him in the fifth. And Samardzija, every once in a while, he'll run into one. And he can hit it as far as anybody on the Giants team.
Yeah, that one home run was 450 plus in Denver earlier this year.
Ooh. That was the one.
He might like to see that one again.
A little get it in cutter. Just a fastball. Good swing. If he'd hit that with the velocity, he could have hit the Coke bottle. That's how strong he is.
His batting practice is, hey, look at that.
Gorkis fan.
And that's one of those, I guess, where you can customize the back. I mean, it would be something. We do have a day coming up, don't we, in a few weeks where players are allowed to use a nickname on the back of the jersey?
I think it's going to happen. The series, the Giants are in Arizona, and you can put your nickname. And there's a lot of things you can do of your own interpretation that will be allowed in the uniform that day.
0-2. Samardzija broke his bat, and he is out number 3. Can't wait to see some of those, actually.
Actually, it's a whole weekend.
Woo! Some decisions to be made.
Is brought to you by Max Muscle Sports Nutrition Petaluma. NPC athlete Lori Mathis is there to help you get in shape this summer.
On this spectacular San Francisco Wednesday, 1-1 Pirates and the Giants. Time for our Togo's big play. The Togo's way. This was in the second inning. The Pirates were threatening for a big inning. It was the pitcher Trevor Williams at the plate, and look at the play that Jeff Samardzija made. That was just tremendous.
It's one of the best I've ever seen. That's how good that one is. The fact that he's going to his right, he reaches up high and bare hands a ball, and then doesn't have a big circle with his arm, just a real small circle to throw from an awkward position with his momentum going towards the third baseline. That's an impossible play. And he threw a strike. And at the time we said, you know, we always talk about how good of an athlete he is. Well, there aren't many guys that can make that play.
There is Exhibit A. I mean, he's got the pitcher up. Williams kind of handcuffed Panic, but he played it cleanly for out number one. You're thinking, okay, I can get through this jam, and then he hits a ball like that. That could have been a disaster. It was a great pitch, terrible contact, and it could have worked out really well for the Pirates.
They threw the ball up, you know, just a little bit above chest high to Buster Posey. Easy play for him.
Easy. That was something special, that play.
And, you know, from Samardzij's perspective, I mean, he's thinking that's not that big a deal.
Yeah. He's listening to us going, yeah.
I did better things than that against Stanford a few years ago. Sorry,
yes,
Dad.
he did. We've seen it a million times on this telecast.
Sorry, Dad.
Somehow we've never found another highlight of his record-breaking career as a wide receiver at Notre Dame. All we show is him torching the Stanford secondary over and over again. Not that I'm bothered by that at all.
My partner, distinguished alumni from Stanford.
Distinguished, sure.
Oh, you light up every time they play that.
Yeah, I mean, things have changed a little bit for Stanford football since those days, for the better. There's a called strike two. I'm going to see the Stanford head coach tonight down in L.A., David Shaw. Did you know that?
I'm impressed with David Shaw.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
You can't be around that guy for more than a minute without being impressed with David Shaw. You would have no problem turning your son over to him and his program.
And a lot of parents of very talented young football players are doing just that. So anyway, we'll be thinking about college football here coming up pretty soon. That one just missed.
49ers starting their camp tomorrow. It's that time of year where everything starts getting going again.
New coach, new GM, kind of turning the page on the last 2 years. Hopefully. Swing and a miss. He got him.
Right above the hands. Well, just for you, Dave Fleming.
What?
Your Stanford Cardinal, we want to show Jeff Samardzij. And you remember that day well. Perhaps you could tell us about it.
Well, he had about 190 receiving yards. Yeah, he could run a little bit, couldn't he? Yeah, taunting. Yeah, great. I like the guy, but look at that. That year, he had, I have to look it up, but he had something like 19 touchdowns that year alone, a Notre Dame record.
Well, he had 2 that day with 191 yards.
Oh. I mean, he had more touchdowns. They've had Tim Brown. They've had Rocket Ishmael. How many great players have they had in Notre Dame history? That's about the best season for a wide receiver that they've ever had.
Well, we like it just to see the red come into your cheeks because
well, yeah, a little came in. I'm fine until he starts taunting the kid. You know, here.
He's running away from the defensive back.
I know.
It was like a 4-3. So, I mean, Jeff Samardzij, nice going.
He really, I mean, truly legitimate. We talk about two-sport athletes and all that. Was a first-team All-American football player. Great, one of the great players in Notre Dame history. No joke.
And he would have been a first or second round pick.
He would have been
in the NFL draft. But I think he chose wisely. He said when he was playing football and baseball was always fun. Football was work. It was discipline. It was, you know, it was a grind. He loved it. But when he got a chance to play baseball, that was the fun.
And he played for Notre Dame as well. He struck out Josh Harrison and kind of overpowered him there.
He's cruising.
That's his 7th strikeout in 5 innings. You got the top of the order coming up when we come back.
the 9th, and Monday night we celebrate Metallica night. That's the 7th. The 8th, another 7:15 game. Then Wednesday, a 12:45 start. Check out the Cubs. Go to sfgiants.com. Get your tickets.
Even with everything that has happened this year, that'll be a scene here, and we'll be remembering back to the National League Division Series from last year. Bernard Span has grounded out twice, 0 for 2. See if the Giants, now third time through against Trevor Williams in a tie game, bottom of the 5th, could get something going. Bernard Span thinking along those lines, bunted it foul. You know, we were talking about this Pirates pitcher, Mike, Trevor Williams, and young guy from Southern California. His dad is a retired Marine. I think his name is Rich Williams. And he has worked with our friends at NBC Sports Bay Area and the Giants many years in a row. You know how Barry Zito kind of started the tradition, Jake Peavy sponsoring Marines who take a trip to spring training. And Trevor's dad, Rich, has been a part of organizing all that. And there's the Marines come in, they get to be a part of spring training, meet the players, they go out to dinner with some big leaguers. And when Trevor was still in high school and college, he would be there with his dad and got to meet big league ball players in Scottsdale at spring training.
Well, it's a tremendous program, and here's a kid that was exposed to that program at an early age, and you talk about positive effect it'll have on a kid.
No kidding. And everybody involved in that deserves a lot of credit. Zito, in some ways, kind of got the ball rolling with a lot of that stuff, and Jake Peavy for picking up where Zito left off, and all of our colleagues who help organize that. It's a really cool thing for a lot of guys who are putting their lives on the line. And Trevor's dad has been a big factor in that as well. That is a fair ball. Right over the bag, down the line. It'll tuck up against that sidewall. Span into second. He'll stop there.
Such an advantage when, look, you start the game off with your leadoff hitter. There's no guarantee you're going to get that leadoff hitter leading off an inning the rest of the game. Well, here in the 5th, Span coming up, leading off, and he does this. And that's not a bad pitch. I mean, that's right there on the inside corner at the hands. He just spins on it. The only way you get that pitch is if you're looking for it. He gets it, keeps it fair, and puts himself in scoring position to open things up here for the Giants in the 5th. That's a big momentum at bat.
Now you got the 2, 3, 4 hitters lined up, and a great chance for the Giants to go ahead.
And for Williams, he's going to pitch for the strikeout here. That's when it's nice to have a guy like Joe Panik, who's a good contact guy, puts the ball in play. This is a get him in, get him over at bat. You want to get him in. If you can't do that, you want to at least get him over.
Ball 1.
Talk about productive outs, which is a stat, and Joe Panik tied with Christian Yelich. 25 productive outs. Anthony Rizzo right in that top 3. Just a great situational hitter. I do think it's an advantage if you're going to lead the league in that department. I think it's an advantage to be a left-handed hitter. Simply because in this situation here, you have a runner at second. It's easier for a left-handed hitter to pull the ball to the right side of the infield, which, if it's a ground ball, is an easy get him over. Right-handers don't quite have that advantage.
I will say this about this Giants team. I mean, we know that the offense hasn't been as productive as it needs to be, but the Giants lead the big leagues in sacrifice flies. They have guys like Panik who have done a lot of those little things well this year. The Giants, it's not like the Giants have not situationally executed. for the most part, they have. That's a ball. It's 3-1.
And that's their game. That's how they have to beat you. They have to do those little things right. They're not a home run team. This ballpark is, it's just not a home run ballpark. But look, they've won 3 world championships doing that. Good defense, good situational hitting, good pitching. That's been their formula for success.
Panic to right field, and that should be a productive out. Jaso span tags and goes to third. So he's there with 1 out and a chance for the Giants to go ahead. Let's check in with Amy G.
All right, gentlemen, we have a brand new installment of G-Mag. It's going to air this Saturday, July 29th at 11:30 in the morning. We hope you can spend that time with us as we spend the day with your 2-time Gold Glove shortstop, Brandon Crawford. We talk about great Giants moments that he's been involved in, as well as growing up a Bay Area kid and the dream and then reality of playing for his favorite team. G-Mag this Saturday, 11:30 right here at NBC Sports Bay Area. Dave?
I don't think I've seen that hat that Brandon Crawford had on there, but hey, he's a Bruin. He likes that light blue. Wears it well.
Just got to be light. Infield in here for Belt. Ball 1. Go ahead run at third with only 1 out. We're in the 5th inning. Samardzija pitching well. This is a big moment in this game. This is your at bat. This is your chance to get that run in. You don't even need a hit to do it.
Williams going to try and pitch for the strikeout again here.
Strike 1 swinging.
Big sink right there on a 1-0 count.
Belt has walked and been called out on strikes. Bumgarner, first win last night. That was a big deal for the Giants.
Think it could be a first game there.
Could be. That one pulled foul, 1-2. Get the certificate. He's pretty young.
Yeah, won't be the last time we see these guys here. Nice going, Dad.
Both got the Bumgarner jerseys on, shirts on.
Wear them well.
Well, now Belt, he's got a battle behind the count 1-2. He rips that one foul. And that might be the last he sees of that pitch. Just a little too quick.
Action on the Cove. There's Dave. McCovey Cove Dave, who no longer needs a last name.
Bell, just a soft roller. That's not going to get it done. Bell will go to the bag, 2 down. Good pitch from Trevor Williams.
That's one that's going to haunt him for a while. Today is Donate Life Day, and we've got 2 very special ball dudes. There's Lizzie Craze. She had a heart transplant when she was 2 years old, and then later on she had a kidney transplant from her father, and she's now 38. Let's go, Lizzie. And then over on the other side we have Nicholas Razzo, who had a liver transplant 14 years ago and doing well. So very special ball dudes and babes today.
Good for them. Glad to have them here.
Great stories.
Now they walk Posey intentionally. So Brandon Crawford now at 2 on and 2 out. Takes ball 1. And that's the other bit. It's no knock against Crawford. He leads the team in runs batted in. But the other part of Belt not getting that run home, it took the bat out of the hands of Buster Posey. The way to make that sting is don't just get Span home, get Buster home.
Well, and I think Williams is going to pitch very carefully here to Crawford with an open base.
Got the borderline call there, 1-1. Yeah, the point being the open base doesn't necessarily have to always be first base. Second base is empty. You got a right-handed hitter, Pence, on deck, who's hit a couple of ground balls today. Two and one. Inside, and I think to your point, he is pitching him very carefully.
As he should.
Crawford went after that 3-1.
Yeah, I mean, he challenged him with that. There was no nibble on that fastball. They wanted a high fastball, and they may go right back at him again there. Normally, that's one of the strengths of Brandon Crawford.
Yeah.
He likes that ball up between the belt and the letters.
3-2. Posey takes off, and Crawford spoiled that one foul.
That was a good pitch. He did well to fight that off.
Yeah, that's one of those where, especially with the strike zone, kind of a floating zone today, where maybe hitters aren't so confident about what's a strike and what isn't. You just you take a risk if you take that one.
Well, this is the type of strike zone where you have to expand it.
Full count. Posey's going to get the head start again. If Crawford hits one in the gap, that could be a factor. 3-2. There goes Buster, and he flips one to left field. Marte, though, leans forward to make the catch. So that leadoff double for the Giants, but they do not score. Game stays tied 1-1.
And may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of San Francisco Giants Baseball Club, LLC.
Well, the Giants had a chance, but they do not score, so it's 1-1, 6th inning, and you got the 3, 4, 5 hitters coming up for the Pirates. Now Jeff Samardzija, who had a long wait in the dugout, but has been on a nice roll against Andrew McCutchen. Good curveball to jump ahead 0-1. I know pitchers kind of hate that term, get it in curveball, or some do, but yeah, that's really what it is. You want to throw that thing for a strike early in the count.
Absolutely it is. There's no better way to describe that pitch. That's what you're trying to do with it. But you also have to know as to who you're pitching against. I mean, you got to know guys that you can throw that pitch with. You have no guys where you can't throw that pitch with.
McCutchen, one hop. Crawford, nice play, throws him out.
And Samardzija, I mean, he's faced Andrew McCutchen 40 times. He knows everything about that guy. He also knows if you're going to throw a first pitch breaking ball, he probably is going to look fastball with nobody on base. That's one you can flop over. But in the same situation or a different situation when you have a runner in scoring position, maybe if you throw that first pitch breaking ball, you throw it down below the strike zone. That's not only because he's looking for it. Now, those are little things that you learn over the years facing a guy. But for the most part, especially with nobody on base, hitters are going to go up there and they're going to look for something to drive. They're going to look for a fastball. And that's when you can steal them. Get it in. Breaking ball. Steal strike one.
1-1 to Josh Bell, who's having a good year, not having a great day against Samardzija. He's 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts.
Still dangerous.
Very.
It's a guy that can ruin your day. You can put a hat trick on him, and the 4th time up, he can take you deep, cost you a game.
Pitch number 90. He went up by design. Bell wouldn't chase. That is true, and as a game goes on and on, though, that becomes even more true, where a guy like this can change the outcome with one swing. Three and one.
Yeah, and you see him a little better now too. I mean, the very first couple of at bats, Samardzija really showed him all his stuff. So Bell has an idea.
They got another swing and miss against him, though, to move the count full.
He could go same pitch above the hands here. Remember, he struck him out on a changeup his last at bat.
That's where he wants to go. Bell skies one to right. Pence did not see it at first. Now he's got it. That is a sort of a heart-stopping moment there when you see a guy out on the outfield throw his arms up in the air like, where is it?
Oh, it's the worst, especially when you're cruising in a 1-1 ball game.
I give Pence credit. He found the ball quickly and mostly no stress.
You can see the reflection in the glasses. I got this one now. I didn't for a while, but I got it now.
Jaso on the first pitch pops that one up. Span calls off Crawford, and that is a nice 1-2-3 inning for Samardzija against the 3-4-5 hitters. Still tied, middle of the 6th in San Francisco.
Buy the all-new 2017 Chrysler Pacifica. By AAA. Get a free canvas backpack. Restrictions apply. Go to AAA.com/roadtrip or to a AAA branch for details. by Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. And by Heffernan Insurance Brokers. Insurance and financial services for you and your business. Visit hefins.com.
Looking back through the Golden Gate towards downtown San Francisco, that is where we are at AT&T Park. 1-1 series finale. Hunter Pence first pitch swing here in the bottom of the 6th. Jaso for the catch. So Hunter's 0 for 3 so far today. 1-1 with Connor Gillespie coming up.
Got a good old-fashioned duel going on. Jeff Samardzija, the veteran, and Trevor Williams, the rook.
Isn't it amazing how in the years we've been here, and we've been here for 18 seasons now, that look we just saw looking back towards downtown from a top right field has changed so much
dramatically.
Strike one to Connor. Yeah, I mean, if you really counted from the time this ballpark opened in 2000 to today, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I mean, probably 10 or 12 of those buildings in that skyline were not there. 2 down.
Well, the Salesforce building, the tall one, I mean, this is the one that's, you know, I didn't think they'd ever build a building that high. And you really can't tell, but it dominates this building.
Yeah, it's way taller. Tallest building in San Francisco. They're going to start moving in I think like October. I mean, they're close to it's still unfinished on the outside, but they're getting all the interior ready, and people they're going to be working in there come fall.
Wow.
And if you're down below on the street level, that whole transit center and all the way those blocks have changed,
it's awesome.
It is incredible. It's the scale of it is just massive. And yet it kind of feels like it fits into those downtown blocks.
Totally.
And that's our architecture hour for the day.
That's your jam sandwich for the afternoon.
No kidding.
Fastball that just got right into the hands of Gorkis Hernandez.
He's just happy it kicked foul.
Yeah, that's one. You just say, well, how did this bat not blow up?
That's a pretty good question, isn't it?
I think so.
That's a good piece of wood.
Well, he's had a good piece of wood going here about the last 6 weeks.
2 for 2 again today with a bunt hit. That's a strike. Giants have the bullpen going because the pitcher's spot is due up next. I mean, if Gorkis hits an extra base hit or even any kind of hit, Bruce Bochy, he may be forced to make a tough decision. Maybe it wouldn't be that tough.
See the hot zones. First 48, he had a very small hot zone. The last 35, he has completely changed his season around.
Been a really good low ball hitter.
And he's been able to lay off the high pitch out of the strike zone, which he could not do early in the year. They would heat him up across the letters. He could not lay off that pitch.
Zeros across the board for the first couple months. Up.
And since he's been more selective and started swinging at better pitches in the strike zone, his average has really climbed about 150 points.
Time for a home run for him. He hadn't had one, but maybe not right yet. That's out number 3. And so I imagine that's going to mean that Samardzija will come back on the mound and pitch. Kipe will come over and look at the cityscape when we're back.
To play, folks, it has been a good old-fashioned pitching duel between the veteran Jeff Samardzija and the rook Trevor Williams. For Samardzija, 6 innings, 3 hits allowed, 1 earned run. He has struck out 7 on 94 pitches. The rook, 6 strong with 5 hits allowed, 1 earning, and not the same type of strikeout pitcher that Samardzija has been today in 99 pitches. And that's where we stand right now, going into the top of the 7th inning. That's our Toyota game summary. And I'd like to introduce once again my friend Dwayne Kuiper. So we'll bring Dwayne in just a little bit. A minor technical difficulty. Meanwhile, it's Samardzija who starts things off here in the top of the 7th inning. He has been on fire, having retired the last 12 Pirates in a row. As you mentioned, 7 strikeouts on the day. Francisco Cervelli coming into this at bat, 1 for 2 with a hit, single, and he struck out. And very quickly, 1 with the curveball.
All right, I think I'm back.
Well, welcome back.
A little glitch. I hate that little glitch guy. Rolls up underneath here and messes everything up. Out of play down the right field line. It's 0-2. Samardzija with 96 pitches. And he's facing the bottom of this Pirates lineup. And Cervelli steps out. Outside, 1-2. Been in total control. The last base runner for the Pirates was a leadoff single by Josh Harrison in the 3rd. No swing, 2-2. Pretty animated, Mr. Cervelli.
Yeah, he's not afraid to express his opinion about a pitch he disagrees with.
He just moves around a lot. Up a little bit, and he had a pretty good rip at it.
He had a good pitch to hit. That had some hang to it. And we haven't seen Samardzija hang many breaking balls when he's been ahead in the count. When he's elevated the curveball, usually it's to get a strike 1. Here, this is just a flat out hanger. And he got away with it. Those are the kind that elevate on contact and get hit a long way.
I told you, very animated. And another 2-2 pitch. He got him.
That's 96-mile-an-hour cut fastball. And that's just another weapon. 8th strikeout. 13th in a row he's sent packing. And look how he's worked him. And the payoff pitch, 96 cut, just falls out of the strike zone, and Cervelli chases his 2nd strikeout today. 8 strikeouts, 7 have been swing and miss strike 3s.
Lifted to left. Hernandez, a long run, and he'll fall a little bit short. I don't want this guy to go anywhere. Samardzija.
No, and what we're talking about is Samardzija has been rumored to be in some trades. I think it's unlikely, and if I agree with you, I did not want to see him go. See the strikeout walk ratio. He's leading the National League.
And Frazier digs one out, and he picks up a base hit, the first base runner since the 3rd. Babe Ruth Series, August 2nd and 3rd. Giants take on the A's the 3rd. It's the annual Grateful Dead tribute. And you need a special event ticket, and it's going to include a dancing bear bobblehead, and a ticket to the game. Remember, you need the ticket to get all the goodies. sfgiants.com/special events. Cantos back, heading down to the bullpen.
See Tony Watson getting ready to come in.
Well, in the 7th inning, Giants will have Samardzija, will probably be lifted. And then 3 left-handed hitters. Without even looking down there, I think Watson's a lefty.
He's a lefty. One of 4 the Pirates have in their bullpen. That's the most left-handers we've seen all year in anybody's bullpen.
Frazier goes, and a bouncing ball, and Bell spears it at the last second, and he goes to the bag, and he retires Mercer. That may end up being a game-changing play by Bell.
That's a great play. He did not have time to take a step. He basically gets set and falls. Gets set, falls. So instead of a first and third 1 out, they get an out. And that has been one of the better defensive plays the Giants have made today. Not the best, but one of them.
So here's David Freese.
Samardzija has that distinction of having made the best play today. .104 pitches. Just the 2nd inning was where he really got taxed.
Up the middle, and Samardzija with that wingspan like a 747 makes the play, and that ends the inning. It's a 1-1 ball game. We have a new pitcher. It's Tony Watson. So when that happens, when it's time for a change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service. Your trusted oil change, tune-up, and repair experts.
Tony Watson, the veteran left-hander, who at one point was their closer. He's got 10 saves on the year, 5-2 with an ERA of 3.63. You're going to see a fastball that's low to mid-90s, more mids than lows, with a big hard slider and a changeup, and all this from a three-quarter release, low three-quarter release.
And here's Miguel Gomez, who takes wide, 1 ball and no strikes. So for Jeff Samardzija, he can sit back and comfortably think, I can only get a win in this game.
He pitched beautifully. Deserves a win.
High to Gomez, 2 balls and no strikes.
There's the Shark. Be happy with how he threw the ball today. 8 strikeouts, couple of walks, 4 hits allowed, 1 earned run. He dominated.
And a strike on the 2-0 pitch to Gomez. Span on deck. Then Panic, Belt, Posey, and Crawford.
Hunter Strickland finishing off his warm-up. He'll pitch the top of the 8th.
Down the left field line. Gomez is digging for 2, and he will make it.
Kid can hit. And they're going to start finding more ways to get that bat in the lineup. Remember, he doesn't know Tony Watson. He doesn't know these guys who are the big arms coming out of the bullpen late. He just knows he likes balls in the strike zone, and when he gets it, he can hammer it from both sides of the plate. So a leadoff double. Jeff Samardzija will like that.
So here's Span. Span had a leadoff double in the 5th, and the Giants could not get him in. And the bunt, and it rolls foul. This is where you don't have to be perfect, because you're not trying to bunt for a hit.
Well, ideally, you want it to be on the third base side, have that third baseman leave his position to have to field it, which opens up a clear lane for Gomez to go to third. And with the speed of Gomez, I mean, anything on the ground, I think they're going to have a good chance of getting him over.
Does this one go by? It's 1 ball and 1 strike.
Almost handcuffed.
Almost did.
Cervelli, the catcher. Fastball in. A moment of panic there.
And this is a good bunt. And they just get Span on a nice play by Harrison.
That's one of those decisions. If you're Josh Harrison, you got to pull the trigger. Do I make a play? Do I let it go? If he lets it go, it may have ruled foul. There comes a point in time where you got to declare, and he declares, I'm going to make the play, and he winds up making a good one to get the out. So job well done from Span. Productive out. One more look at perfection from everybody involved.
Here's Panic with the infield in. Panic on the ground, and another 3 unassisted with a man at third and less than 2 outs. It happened with Belt in the 5th. And now here's Belt. Belt walked in the 1st, struck out looking in the 3rd, rolled out to 1st in the 5th. One ball and no strikes.
Opportunity for Brandon Belt to pick up Joe Panic right here.
Well to left. Marte. It falls. And coming in to score is Gomez, and the Giants take the lead. I don't think he ever saw it. I hope that's the reason.
Well, Jeff Samardzija can't believe it because he's now got a lead. He's the pitcher of record. And he's thinking, what just happened? And I agree with you. I don't think he ever saw it. He could not have possibly seen it.
It's got to be a double, right?
Got to be a double.
So Buster Posey send up a balloon.
You're talking about a two-time Gold Glover out there. I mean, when fly balls go out to Marte, they're caught. The only way he doesn't catch it is if he doesn't see it. And it had to be what happened to him. So a huge break for the Giants. They try to add on. Samardzija's looking up at the sun. Gorky Hernandez telling you that's bad out there. Gorky's playing left field today for the Giants.
Those left fielders. They hang together. So Crawford will hit. Posey gets the free pass. And a swing and a miss. No balls and one strike. We were talking about Brandon Crawford trying to, keep that right shoulder, and sometimes you face a lefty, it's a lot easier to do it. Oh, and 2. 94, right around the knees. Belt at second, Posey at first. Got him on 3 pitches, and that'll end the inning. Giants take the lead. It's 2-1. Now for Xbox One, PS4, iOS, and Android. Your breakout MLB season is here, and you better come ready to play. Learn more about RBIGame.com. When it's time for a change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service. Your trusted oil change, tune-up, and repair experts.
Hunter Strickland, the new pitcher for Bruce Bochy, 42nd time he's come in. Setup man, 1-2 on the year with a 2.45 ERA.
Facing Marte. 1 ball and no strikes. Marte, Harrison, McCutchen. And a high pop-up into very shallow center field, and panic Puts it away. Let's check in with Amy G. Amy?
All right, guys, I have a must-see TV alert. It comes from Wes Kruko, Mike Kruko's son, and the original creators of the Emmy Award-winning Bass Ballet. Now you get to check out Bass Ballet 2. Into the Game. It's tonight, 6:30, right here on NBC Sports Bay Area. It's a unique perspective showcasing the athleticism of dance combined with America's grand old game of baseball. Tonight, 6:30, NBC Sports Bay Area. Mike, I know you're a proud papa. He did a good job, guys.
Well, it's a great time, too. I mean, we'll all be able to make it home by then, so I'm looking forward to it.
It's pretty spectacular, and I am indeed very proud that he and his fellow choreographer, Ben Needham Wood, put this together with 4 other dancers, and it really shows off AT&T Park in a very beautifully done artistic way.
Foul, lot of play. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Matt McKee directed it. Kevin Fox produced it. Just a lot of hard work went in with a lot of people, and it's just very cool. So thank you, Amy, for that.
1 ball and 1 strike. McCutchen on deck. Up the middle and a base hit.
Gnat in your ear. That's what Josh Harrison is. He's a gnat in your ear. But what a year he's had. He made the WBC team. The American team won it. He was an all-star. And he's an energy guy.
So here's McCutchen, who's 0 for 3. Fastball low and away. The Giants will keep an eye on Josh Harrison. He's got 10 steals. He's stole his 11th in the 3rd inning. McCutchen lines this one at Panic, and that's a double play, and the Giants catch a break here in the 8th. Pence, Gillespie, Hernandez coming up.
By T-Mobile, scheduled starters for the Dodgers series starting Friday night. Matt Moore going to be on the hill taking on Alex Wood, a couple of lefties in game 1. Then it's going to be a couple more lefties on Saturday. Ty Block taking on Rich Hill. And then Sunday's finale, It'll be Matt Cain against yet another lefty, Hyunjin Ryu. So check it all out. That's your unlimited baseball break, brought to you by T-Mobile.
It's a 2-1 lead for the Giants here in the bottom of the 8th. When it's time for a change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your trusted oil change tune-up and repair experts.
Second time the Giants have seen Juan Nicasio in this series. Hard thrower, is having a good season. It's 46 strikeouts against 15 walks and 45 1/3. 2.58 ERA, good numbers.
And Pence takes a call strike.
Giants first saw Nicasio when he was with the Colorado Rockies. He's a starter. And he's still throwing hard. You'll see mid to high 90s with the velocity and then a hard slider and a changeup.
And the next pitch is down low. Dyson getting loose. And the pitch is a bit high. 2 balls and a strike. Perfect. Anthony's outside corner, 2-2.
Well, hey, she's a gamer. You can just tell, can't you? Yeah, gamer, babe.
And a swing and a miss. Ball gets away from Cervelli, but he picks it up in time to throw out Pence. Pence retired, and here's Gillespie. Gillespie has bounced out 3 times to Adam Frazier. And a first pitch strike at the belt. For the Pirates in the 9th inning, they'll have Josh Bell, John Jaso, and then the catcher, Francisco Cervelli. Moncrief, the new guy.
First day in the big leagues. How psyched do you think he is?
Foul back. It's 0-2. Rockies Hernandez is on deck. No balls and 2 strikes. And that backs Gillespie off the plate. And this one is rolled to the shortstop, Jordy Mercer. So Gillespie's retired 6-3. And here's Gorkys Hernandez. He's got a couple of hits today.
We've been saying that a lot about Gorkys.
Pitch strike.
Yeah, you're so used to seeing the wind pick up as the afternoon starts to wear on. It hasn't really happened today. Still a lazy wind here. Great day to be out in the cove in a boat.
One and two. I think he'd like to have Hernandez get on.
Oh yeah, I think he'd like to see him hit one out of the ballpark. Does not have a home run yet this year.
Up and in and out of play. It stays at 1 and 2.
And Gorkis is usually good for a home run or two.
That he is.
This hasn't really been the year of the home run for the Giants. Last year in 54 at bats, Gorkis hit 2 home runs for the Giants. Ocasio slowing it down.
On the ground, and a nice play by Bell, and that will end the inning. That close to Mr. Moncrief getting his first big league at bat. Dyson coming in. Johnson and Ray Ratto will bring you the best hour of sports talk in the Bay Area. It's right after Giants postgame live on NBC Sports Bay Area. So Dyson comes into the ball game. It's 2-1 lead for the Giants when it's time for a change. Think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your trusted oil change tune-up and repair experts.
Really been a tale of 2 seasons in 1 season for Dyson. You see the numbers he had with Texas and yet the numbers he's had with the Giants. He's been very good since he's put on a Giants uniform.
And Bell with a mighty swing and a miss. No balls and 1 strike. Bell has struck out twice and he's flied out to right.
It's Mark Melanson getting closer to being activated. I think in the next week or so. He may get a rehab.
Well, stay tuned immediately after Giants baseball for Eastern's Giants postgame live, and it's a full hour right after the game. 1 ball and 1 strike. And it's wide, 2-1. Swing and a miss. 2-2.
Man, that ball's up, and that's not where sinker ballers normally like to be.
Two and two. Now Bell steps out. On the ground, and it's foul. Could have been a magic one-do thing.
This is not the time for a magic one-do. Not if you're Sam Dyson or Jeff Samardzija, who stands to get a win. Nicholas Razzo, our ball dude, making friends. Those are cards saying, I owe you a baseball. Not quite as good as a ball.
On the ground, foul. Dyson came in on the hands of Josh Bell. So Dyson, pitch number 7 to Josh Bell. And a pop-up. Middle of the diamond. Who's going to take over? And it's going to be Belt with the big glove in front of Panic. And that's one of those where it's just not hit high enough where somebody's going to call everybody off. So.
Well, you could have had 5 guys run into each other on this play. Panic takes off. He immediately looked over to Gillespie, and now here they come. And the guy 6'4" with a long reach and the big glove, he winds up taking it away. And I don't think Joe Panic's too unhappy about that. So Dyson does get the all-important first out.
Jaso takes a strike. On the ground, slowly hit, is going to kick foul, so it's now 0-2. Jaso with a walk in the second. He struck out and he's popped out. Just gets a piece as he rolls it off the shin guard of Buster Posey.
Oh, those are good sinkers from Sam Dyson. And Jaso's just catching the top of those baseballs as they're sinking through the zone.
Oh, 2. Breaks his bat, and Crawford will make the play, and this will go 6-3. 2 outs. So here's Cervelli. Cervelli with a base hit in the second, and then struck out looking in the 4th and swinging in the 7th, all against Jeff Samardzija. Low, 1 ball and no strikes.
It's a live 95. Big time movement, boring in on Cervelli.
Inside corner, 1-2.
So gives him the exact opposite in regards to movement prior to the first strike. This is a cutter. Nails the inside locator right under the hands.
Foul back. Cervelli had a rip.
He was on it. That was a cutter that had some hang to it. It's too much location in the strike zone when you're heading to count 1-2. Beautiful pitch on a 1-2 count. That's two-seam movement at 95 coming back to the strike zone, and it didn't miss by much.
Good call. Did miss. 2-2.
Melanson looking on.
Cervelli stays alive. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Dyson has now thrown 17 pitches.
Yeah, that last slider is exactly where he wanted to throw that. That's where Buster Posey wanted to see the previous slider that had some hang on it. And that was down below the strike zone. Cervelli's in the protect mode, so he's going to expand. And that last pitch took advantage of it. Cervelli did well to fight it off.
2 balls, 2 strikes.
Well, Buster ran through every sign he has, so now he's going to come out and talk about it. All right, what do you got? Think about a knuckleball. What do you think? Knuckleball? No, I don't think we're going to see a knuckleball.
Yeah, those 2 first met in the WBC. Fouled again.
So took a little off, almost looked like a changeup, but it's 90-mile-an-hour changeup. But it worked. It got Cervelli out front.
Two and two. Got him, and that's the ball game. Dyson gets his 6th save of the year as the Pirates go down 1-2-3 in the 9th. So in the season where the Giants have disappointed a lot of folks, they do go 5-1 against these Pirates.
Now they had to play good ball to do it. Today, exceptional defense, just a dominant Jeff Samardzija, and they scratched out enough runs. They got a break. They took advantage of it. And then the bullpen with Strickland and Dyson nailed it down. It's a good win, a good series. Now they have momentum into the off day.
So the Giants will head to Los Angeles tonight. They'll take on the Dodgers on Friday night, and they'll roll into LA playing pretty good baseball. Final score, it's the Giants 2 and the Pirates 1. Stay tuned. Esurance Giants postgame live starts right now.